This is the open final at the 40th annual No Boaters Ultimate Tournament, live on Rogers TV. It is Phoenix against Ascension. My name is Desmond Thomas. I'm joined by Brandon Adibe. Brandon, familiar with one of these teams, very intimately familiar with one of these teams. What do you know about Ascension?
Ascension is a team based out of Sherbrooke, Quebec. They are a decent team who also participates in the U.S. series as well as the Canadian series. Definitely really good at keeping the disc, and they have some great players.
Phoenix starting on offense first. They're in red, running from the left to the right of your screen. They turn it over though, and Ascension with a break opportunity to start the game. Downfield into the end zone for the score.
Definitely what you want to see from the Sherbrooke side. Immediately getting a chance on this near side, putting up a disc, and it floats just enough to give time to the receiver to go down and get it.
It's been a long tournament for both of these teams, so it's impressive. And we'll see how, as the game progresses, those downfield receptions from those attackers, if they have the legs. But here at the beginning of this game, still fresh legs for that Ascension player, able to get on his horse down the field and open the scoring. On a break nonetheless, Brandon.
Yes, for those at home who don't know about holds and breaks, breaks are when you start on defense, holds are when you score and start in on offense. Kind of similar to tennis. If you hold all the time, you will win. But you're going to need to find a way to get a break, and those come rarely.
They come rarely, but you want to make sure you take full advantage of it when the time comes. And offside the call, so we have the benefit of observers in this game. You'll see them on your screen right now in orange. And so offside in Ultimate Frisbee, Brandon.
When we're looking at offsides, that means the defensive team kind of encroaches into the central zone before the pole goes off. So the offense has the opportunity to either play it where it lies, or they can take it to the brick on the first time it happens.
And Phoenix electing to take it to the brick mark. Swung around to the near side, Liam Daigle. Nice quick under by Theo Globet. To the near side now. Chacroun. Phoenix able to maintain possession of that disc. Nick Goer. Now getting up Theo Globet again. Phoenix happy to work it through the handlers, and that puck from Daigle always tracking to the left side of the field and too far in front of the intended recipient.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky on this near side. Everything's going to be fading towards the home side. You're not going to have much of a buffer in terms of holding edge, so making sure you have the correct edge as he gets it back almost with the foot block.
What a play. A foot block and then a layout grab to save the possession for Ascension. Pinned on the near sideline right now. Getting low into a squat to pull that down from off of the turf. Ascension happy to reset into the backfield right now, but stalled down though along the sideline. So you have 10 seconds to throw the disc, and once the defender hits stall T in the 10, the T in the 10, the T in the 10, but it seems to be contested, Brandon.
Oh, I think actually might be accepted based on the hand signals. Two open hands means accepted or uncontested in the new way how they phrase it in the USAU rule set, which we play under here in Canada. Rothmorton on the disc.
Rothmorton into the middle for Globet. Rockmore, Globay. Needs that hander reset, and it's put up into space and kept moving along that far sideline and continued into the end zone. And great layout D pressure from that Ascension player on the far side. As Phoenix looked good in flow, tracking toward the end zone, but just couldn't quite finish it off.
Definitely those final touches, super critical in those end zone sets. You always want to be punching in. If you leave the door open for a team like Sherbrooke, you will probably regret it later on in the game.
So foul called on the initial throw, Brandon. And they'll just discuss it right now, whether the defender was set or whether he moved into it.
I think with a big lefty here, because he has to step inside the field of play, it's really hard to avoid any contact, especially with a big sweep in motion, as he did have. He's a player with a lot of quality. He was able to play on the Payuk team for Team Canada not too long ago.
That lefty backhand off the sideline, saw that, as you mentioned, it's hard to avoid some contact. In one of the games that my team was playing in this tournament, we have a player on the team who's a lefty, and the disc went directly into the face of the player marking. Credit to her, though, she was able to pop back up after a few minutes. A couple of tissues in her nose, and she was good to go. And that disc is turned over. Rothmore to the end zone. It's floating a bit, but pulled down with authority, and Phoenix able to tie the game.
Owen Kalinsky, one of the new additions to this Phoenix roster, coming over from Quebec, Montreal to be exact, applying his trade in Montreal with the McGill and playing with Manic, but now living in Ottawa for the summer. Definitely a great pickup.
There was pressure coming to that near cone, so had to get up quickly. And as all the teams here playing today on this gorgeous Sunday, it is true, but there is quite a breeze that has been playing a factor throughout the whole championship Sunday here. So see how these teams adjust.
Early in the game, definitely have to find a way to get adjusted, get acclimated really quickly. You don't want to take a few points and then the other team pulls away. So the breeze is more than a thrower's breeze on Sunday. It's not as bad as it was yesterday, as we saw large gusts almost getting up to 45 kilometers at times. Today, only down to about 25 to 30.
Happy to see the sunshine over golf ball-sized hail. That's to be sure. Ascension starting on O. And a long way to travel right now as Phoenix has them pinned right at the top of their end zone. Kalinski on the mark. Big Huck coming up here for Ascension. Two players deep, one from Phoenix, one from Ascension. And a good D
by Captain Cale Campbell. Definitely a big defensive stalwart. Always does what you need when you need it. Some call him Captain Carlton from his playing days at Carleton when he was with the Ravens. Such a mature player who is professional in every sense of the word.
A great layout D, opportunity and attempt. But Phoenix maintaining possession. Here's Campbell. Zip to the near sideline.
James Goff, also another new addition, coming in from Bowmanville to Ottawa.
Campbell. Near sideline now. OI flick to the end zone, and it's caught.
And Phoenix gets their break back. This time it is James Goff, new addition. Used to play with Hound out in Durham/Bowmanville. Streaking deep here. Great throw by Samuel Tremblay La Rochelle. And we're technically on serve here. Which means, for those who aren't familiar, Serve is basically how the flow of the game goes based on if you started on O, you are expected to hold, as we've learned before.
Yeah.
Both teams have one break. Now it's Ascension's turn to ideally hold. So Phoenix getting some pressure from that 1D point, set up in a little bit of a junky look, getting the pole play out of Ascension's hands, and then clamping him down, being tight. Looking to do the same thing on this point.
Ellis with the pull. And it's zippy right to the top of Ascension's end zone. And Phoenix hustling down on D. Forces to the far side. Picked up in the middle of the field. Nice zippy under that's connecting with number 16 on Ascension. Oh, lovely. Fake to the back end and then break to the inside. Ascension happy to move it to the near side, and now a Hawk tracking back and just floats over the outstretched fingertips of that Phoenix defender.
Mike Lee getting so close, but not close enough. He was playing recently with Still, which is a Masters team at Masters Worlds out in England, in Nottingham to be specific. Such a good cutter. He's playing on the D line this year. That's a bit new to him, as he's usually an offensive stalwart.
So, Ascension, as you mentioned, they do what they needed to do. They get the job done. We're tied at 2 points apiece. What do you think is going to be the separation between these two teams? What needs to change so that it's not just a trading point affair until a potential universe switch? We saw in the women's final here on Sunday. Do you think it's going to be more of a trading holds back and forth, or in the case of this game, trading 2 breaks back and forth and then 2 holds? Or does Phoenix have something in their bag of tricks to break through, as it were, and pull away from Ascension as they will start on offense right now?
In the brief season Phoenix has had, usually their offense has been very strong, so might be just a little bit of a blip, but once they start getting going, the D-line usually follows suit with multiple breaks. So just being able to get the defensive line out there before giving up with you is what they need.
Break chance here for Ascension, though. And he's in for the score. Phoenix turnover in a rather unfortunate position. And Ascension, they make pretty quick work of that. Another round flick to the near corner. That lefty flick to the near corner.
Matthew Roy once more showing off his prowess, especially getting crossover to this D-line. You might have noticed that Ascension is running tighter lines right now, really trying to get ahead of Phoenix and then coast from there if possible. A lot of guys like Xavier Blanchet are playing multiple points. I think this is his 3rd in a row. He's playing both ways. David Vignon also a big presence on this team, not only on the field but off it as well.
Maybe an Iron Man type game for Xavier Blanchet.
I believe he's going to have to play a lot if they want to keep this very close. And he has so much energy. Someone like that, he's always going. He's always going, so to continue that, it's the last game. You can empty the tank, give everything you have.
High pull and a roller at that as it comes down hard, and Greg Ellis able to stop the roll. Ascension has some friends coming to support them along the sideline here. Another team from Quebec cheering their name as they pass on by. Phoenix playing in close quarters right now. Ellis into the middle. And they'll swing to the far side, Daigle. Ellis. And just stolen from the hands of the defender, and a couple give and goes to get Phoenix moving in the right direction, and another give and go along the far sideline, and another to get them feet within the end zone. Red zone territory now for Phoenix. Patience is necessary. Globe, nice layout grab to keep the possession alive. And space there, and in for the score. And Phoenix able to tie the game up at 2.
Phoenix definitely tying up the game.
At 3, pardon me.
But it's not their most convincing look. You're seeing Cale Campbell on your screen having to lay out to secure the disc. Tight windows are being hit. They're not playing in those big spaces like they usually do. So looking for some of their players to step up and not only steady the ship, but turn it around and apply more pressure to this Ascension unit.
Do you think the wind is becoming a factor for Phoenix? What is contributing to the shakiness on offense for them?
I think looking at their path to this, they kind of blew out every single one of the teams they faced, other than their semi, which still wasn't close. I think they only gave up 4 goals in that game. So not playing a whole tournament without much pressure, and you fall into some bad habits. So having to clean up those habits right now in live time, while one team is flying high, who is excelling and came out on the right side of some tough results, you want to see that.
That was a fantastic pull from Greg Ellis, just landing beyond the end zone line and just in along the sideline, but Ascension.
Really nice to see that from Greg Ellis, especially seeing as it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Greg Ellis. Faking the long huck and getting the break to the near side. Ascension into the middle of the pitch. Jamie cut around, and that was looking dangerous. The defender right on his back foot. Waving off a couple of deep looks and now resetting into the middle. Nice handler movement, gaining some significant yardage as Ascension inches closer to the end zone. Now feet away along that front right cone. They'll look to get it back into the middle, and they do. A dump. Two cross cuts that are both waved off and out of the open player. Calls to attack the line, and that's exactly what Ascension does. Able to pull themselves back out in front, 4-3.
Vigneault doing so much on that offensive possession. Whether it's in the handler space or going up a line here, you'll see he does a nice give and go, little scoop cut into the end zone, uncontested, and a great celebration to boot.
You got to have significant confidence to do that disc celebration after scoring, because the penalty of dropping it is ridicule for the entire game.
True, but David Vigneault is also someone who is no stranger to having to perform on the big stage. He's also a multi-sport athlete. He is a big cheerleader in the Sherbrooke scene, so he has so much calm, cool, collected energy, and as the lights shine, he shines brighter.
There you go. So 4-3. Now for Ascension, you're talking about Phoenix's road to the final. 15-3 against Out. Got the point cap there, 15-8 against Loyal. Point cap as well. Ascension 15-6 against Thunderbird in Open Pool B, and a 10-6 victory over Magma as well. As Ascension, another rolly pull that spins so effectively along the grass and gains another 12 yards after it was able to be stopped by Phoenix, who turn it over, run through D by Ascension on the far side, and put up that far sideline in a layout grab to save the possession. And the break opportunity into the end zone. And that layout bid goes unsuccessful. But we've got signals on the far side. Injury will be called.
Really putting his body on the line, especially in this final game. There's nothing to reserve yourself for. Giving out the body, giving yourself a chance to make a big play and toe the line. Sherbrooke needs every inch they can get.
So they tap the ground and we're live, and Phoenix, if they can get out of this sticky situation, it will be a dirty hold opportunity for them. But that was a huge opportunity for Ascension to try to get a break, and a long flick huck is launched downfield and it floated, it kicked up just for a half second longer.
Nick Gohard just missing out on that one. Just could only get fingertips to it, even with the second bounce from the wind.
And there's going to be a lot of that today, so the key is just never giving up on the disc. Difficult, tricky flick, swung to the far side, cross corner, and it works out to perfection. Travel called, we'll play on. Ascension running a sideline play, and that's turned over. Picked off in the midfield by Gobet. And I don't know how he brought that down, Gohard, but he managed to. And that tricky backhand slices its way to the near side and picked up. Phoenix still in possession. Still their hold point. Flick to that far side. Into the end zone. And an easy score for Theo Gobet. But it wasn't easy for most of that point. But it was pretty much unmarked in the end zone. But Phoenix really had to work for that one.
Sherbrooke really making them work. Both sides of the ball, whether it's on offense. We saw a really nice shot by number 67, Sénéchal. That crossfield blade. Really expansive, really stretching out Phoenix's defense, making their offensive unit work on the defensive end of things, and then asking the question, can Phoenix march it up the field?
So we're seeing a lot of these cross-field, bladey around looks right now. Are those in the current circumstances, and these are high-caliber players, are these advisable throws to continue trying to get off as the game goes on, or should it be a little bit more small ball?
So right now, if you are Sherbrooke or Ascension, you keep taking those shots until Phoenix proves that they are taking it away or force a turn from it. And as long as the wind doesn't pick up to a point where you can no longer throw those safely as an option, you want to keep doing it. It's going to expand Phoenix's defense. They won't be able to constrict this field and take away more options that way. So you kind of want to play from the outside in. It will make all those easier options more viable.
So that pull from Phoenix goes out beyond the sideline, so Ascension will be able to take it at the brick mark.
Something from Phoenix here is the regular O-line is now playing defense, even after a long point. A lot of players doubling over. I wonder if Coach Luke Phelan is now switching the O and defensive unit.
Hard under. That's pulled down well away from Daigle. Stall count getting a little high, but it's flipped off. And now on that far sideline, an upline upcoming here. Heavy pressure on his back foot from Phoenix.
You also may notice there are two Daiglers on this Phoenix roster. Right now, number 60 cutting towards the disc with the disc. That is Owen Daigler. His older brother, Liam Daigler, is number 22.
Long shot to the end zone, tracking to that far side, but always tracking away. Ascension happy that they forced that look. Seem to be happy with the long hucks right now, at least on that occasion, judging by the the cheers on the sideline. And now Ascension back on it. Tied at 4. As we near the 30-minute hard cap for halftime, that disc was low, and some calls that it may have grazed some blades of grass on the way through.
Might be the Ottawa in me, but I think I might have even heard it hit the ground before the player got to it. But they'll provide their perspectives. We're going to the observer in Team Orange. They're talking on their microphones here. Observer ruling it was up, so that is the ruling we will stick with.
So just a conversation with the near side observer as well, with coaching staff and the players on the sideline for both Phoenix and Ascension. I think there was an injury called as well at the same time, so Campbell's coming over to that far side. Ascension still in possession. This is their point to hold. Pumped up that far side. Long flick-hook looking into the end zone, but pressure coming. What a play to knock that out of the air by Mark Fisher.
Mark Fisher, another rookie to this Ottawa Phoenix side. He is a Dalhousie player, but he originates from Ottawa here. We claim him an amazing guy, known as Fish in the community.
I may have loved to know more about his playing career on the East Coast. I also played on the East Coast. Degler. Owen Degler. Theo Globet on the near sideline here. Mooring. Crossfield hammer. What a shot! And Cale Campbell pulls it down. No guts, no glory. And that crossfield hammer was absolutely delicious.
Absolutely. That is Theo Gobet's favorite throw. I've been on the other end of those. If you know him, you just cut to that spot and he will find you. And that is a break for Phoenix. So Sherbrooke burning a timeout here. They had to use a lot of their top dogs on that line. They are tired, but the way they're going to stick in this game is by using their top dogs. So giving them a break, giving them a rest, giving them a little reset. If you can hold all the way through half and then give your D-line a chance like they have been and put in the pressure on the Phoenix O-line, you're going to be still in this game.
I believe that was a break for Phoenix as well. That was a long point and a couple turnovers throughout the entire sequence. It was a long, drawn-out point, as you mentioned. They need the rest of those players just calling this timeout now, but not a bad time to burn the timeout either, with the first half set to close in the next couple of minutes. So if there was ever a time to call the timeout, it was right then. So good game management from the Ascension coaching staff.
Yeah, looking forward, coming out of half, we are going to be having Phoenix on offense. So you don't want to be going into the half down 2.
No.
So like you were saying, very good game management by the coaching staff of Ascension.
For you, Brandon, has there been any team between the two that has really come out as the favorite in this game to win it, or is it pretty, well, the score has been back and forth, but are you noticing any tendencies between the two teams that would indicate a champion at the end?
I think right now it could go either way. So a lot of punches and counter punches have been made, a lot of tactical tweaks you might not have been super privy to if you're at home. Currently, the rosters and how they are line calling, the tactics on the field, what they're showing and what they don't want to show. I feel like Phoenix still has more in the bank that they have not shown yet. Not sure what goes. Dominator, something they haven't seen just yet.
So the three handlers working that disc well up the field. And foul called on the attempted foot block by Cale Campbell. He got his knee way up there. And no contest. Ascension need this point to tie the game up at 5. It's Deed, but still up in the air, and Campbell comes down to knock that down, and there's players heading to the end zone right now. Mateo Marshall was striking.
It would appear that is actually Alicia Andreev wearing Mateo Marshall's jersey today.
Not making things easy for us, or me in particular, Brandon. You're quite familiar with these players. To the end zone, and that layout attempt just goes awry.
James Goff giving up his body on defense. He was the one who got the touch on the disc before it popped up, and now taking an injury after really getting up there for that bid attempt. Sometimes when you make those bids and you have to leave the ground at hip height, you get winded on the way down, so taking an injury.
And there's absolutely no downside to taking an injury. One, you get fresh legs out there for your team, and there's no penalty to taking an injury. You don't have to sit out another point or anything like that, as there may be in other sports.
The only thing is the other team gets to make as many substitutions as you do, kind of to make it equal and fair.
Ascension back in possession. After that huck attempt from Phoenix just was off the mark. And now a huck for Ascension, and there will be a foul called.
Bit of a blown switch between the three defenders with Cale Campbell, Greg Ellis, and Mike Lee, resulting in a bit of a kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle is an excellent way to put it, Brandon. We'll take another look at that here. It was a disc launched into the air.
There's definitely some contact, but we can't really say if it was going to affect the play, because it's kind of looked like the offensive player took a step under while Greg Ellis was streaking deep. So the contest seems like the right call, bringing it back to the last place we can agree on.
So in on stall 6. So it's going to have to be moved very quickly. A big mark along the far sideline. Calls for no around, but they do get it in the backfield. But stalled down on the far sideline is the call they will have to discuss now, Brandon.
So it was quite a bit of time, especially if we're taking into account what happened beforehand. But
all you have to do is get to the T of 10.
By the body language, I don't think they're going to come to a resolution, at least without going to the observer. So observer hearing out both perspectives before they make a ruling. Observer ruling is that it is a stall down. So their ruling is binding in these games. So once they tap the ground, we will be live with Phoenix having a chance to punch in yet another break.
Past the hard cap for halftime, but we will have another point after this as it's put into the end zone, and Ellis brings it down. And Phoenix goes up by 2, and that's exactly what Ascension was looking to avoid as we near halftime.
Yeah, Noah Berube, who was the injury sub for James Goff, coming in, putting an absolute peach of a throw. Plenty of touch, plenty of time given to Greg Ellis to go down and get that.
So we'll have one more point, and then it will be the hard cap for halftime because the 30-minute mark was hit as that point was being played. We're 5 minutes past it right now. And when you have those long points, especially in the penultimate and final point getting to halftime, it can make for a very condensed second half in these 60-minute games. So coming out on top in that first half is absolutely crucial. And Phoenix is going to look to go by 3 here, and Ascension needs a hold.
Yeah, getting to be able to start early, start often with your scores, and if you were able to win the flip and choose O, you have quite the advantage in such a short time frame with these 60-minute games.
And that pull from Greg Ellis, the wind just seemed to catch it and absolutely killed it on its way down toward Ascension's end zone, and they get to start right around the halfway point of the field. Shot to the end zone, always dipping low toward the grass. And that quick possession for Ascension goes by in a flash.
Although they did get the turn, a lot of Phoenix players yelling home, which indicates that the force might have been wrong downfield, getting away with one here.
That's pulled out. And now into the middle, Phoenix looking to move it up quickly. Calls for under from Cale Campbell. Ellis. Now he shoots. Drifting toward that front cone. And Mike Lee calling an injury on the bid, unable to get to the disc, and
looks like it might have been Rob Wallace, the rookie.
So as he went down, it looked like his legs and his low back may have scorpioned over a little bit. He was also reaching toward his ankle, so you never know. Don't want to speculate. Just hope he's able to rejoin the game at a later time, perhaps at some point in the second half.
Yet another one player from the rookie class of Phoenix this year. A lot of new players. He's definitely a gamer. Center from Carleton.
What a shot. Zipped across the face of the zone. Ascension wants to go deep. They won't get it on this occasion. And perhaps they should have, as now the turnover inside the attacking half for Phoenix. Looking to go up by 3 and take half. Ellis along that far sideline, back to Campbell. Campbell to the near side for Gobey. Dug from the turf. Gobey. Swung to the near side, now he wants it back. Opens up a lane in the middle. Not in though. Not in though, but that one is, as Campbell keeps his eye on the prize and takes half for Phoenix, who are now in a very solid position entering the second half. Up by 3, 7-4. Phoenix leads over Ascension. That was nice calmness displayed in the red zone there, Brandon, by Phoenix. So we'll be back with second half action in just about 5 minutes. This is the 40th annual No Borders Ultimate Tournament live on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Welcome to Ottawa in the Know. I'm Julie Finley. I'm happy to be here to show you everything from bike trails to kitchen tales and all the things in between that make Ottawa so great.
In the early 80s, a sport known as Ultimate Frisbee or Ultimate began to catch on as a cheap, accessible, non-contact, self-refereed sport. It experienced significant growth, held back only by the number of available playing fields. In 1986, noting the lack of space, a group of local Ultimate Frisbee enthusiasts pulled their resources together to purchase 109 acres of land from a local farmer in Manotick Station. In 1998, the purchase was complete, and the area was quickly converted into playing fields for what would become Ultimate Parks Incorporated, or UPI.
Probably acquiring this much land is probably difficult in other parts of the city. What's maybe not known is UPI is actually 110 acres. The playing surface is only 40 acres. There's 70 acres behind the fields that we also own as part of UPI.
UPI is known as one of the very first and largest purpose-built, player-owned ultimate complexes in the world. It boasts some 19 fields on which teams can play, and it's a great location to host tournaments. This year, the No Borders Ultimate Tournament celebrates its 40th anniversary.
Teams used to come up from the States to play in this tournament, hence the name No Borders. Recent years, it's only been Canadian teams because the American teams have sort of changed their structure for the tournament. But we've been able to reach teams all across Canada, which makes No Borders really unique. Even though it's not a qualifier for a national event, we have teams coming from all the way from Vancouver out to Halifax and everywhere in between, which really makes it a great tournament.
As a sport, Ultimate continues to experience widespread growth. The Ottawa Carleton Ultimate Association has over 4,000 active players. With the summer recreational season in full swing, UPI will be a busy place for the game. The OCUA has a motto: the greatest sport, the ultimate people.
If you've never seen it, come out and watch. No Borders is a great opportunity to come out and watch Ultimate. There's men's divisions, women's divisions, mixed divisions, so we really cater to all. And yeah, it's open to everyone.
I'm Mike James for Rogers TV Community News.
Welcome back to UPI and the open final at the 40th annual No Borders Ultimate Frisbee Tournament. It's 7-4 for Phoenix over Ascension at the half. We'll take a look at some of the highlights from that first half of play. Some excellent hucks into the end zone, and the wind a bit of a factor as well, as you saw that one just float over the outstretched fingertips of the Phoenix defender. Phoenix displaying some nice patience in the red zone as well, as they look for the right throws at the right time. The other team can't score if you have the disc. And right now, with Phoenix in a great position, up by 3, there's no need for them to try to force anything when they're at the end zone. Possession should be their obsession in this second half, which will go by in a flash. Only 16 minutes left in the game until hard cap at 4:40 p.m.
Ascension definitely need to make their moves now as quickly as possible while still being effective with the disc.
Pinned in their own end zone right now. On that far side, Gohar on defense. Ascension work it up a little bit along that line. Heavy backfield pressure and a lovely put into space away from Rothmore. And that's floating into the end zone. What a grab! Trailing edge. And Ascension kicks off the second half with a score to pull it to 5-7.
Phoenix really looking to junk up the open side of the field, sitting guys under, pushing the offensive players out, only leaving long throws as an option as well as up lines. And Ascension took what they were given, got an up line into a power position, put a nice big huck, and then that trailing edge grab at the peak of its flight path.
And if you're Phoenix, do you say, well, you know, we can live with that. We can live with that big huck downfield. We took away the unders. We were very aggressive in the backfield defense. Can you live with that score if you're Phoenix on defense? You're starting the second half on defense.
I think the standard that is being set by the coaches, which are Desmond Staples and Luke Phelan, there is a huge emphasis on defensive pressure as well as defensive execution. So anything that doesn't result in a good outcome, you can't really be happy with it. They hold themselves to such a high regard. So Luke Phelan definitely animated on the sideline. So I would say he's not too happy with how this is going.
Happy to have you here, Brandon Adibe, for your insights on Phoenix. They bring in a ringer for the Open Final. I'm sure they'd love to have you out of there on the field, though.
Potentially.
Ellis. Ellis has it back. It's all jammed up right now. Ascension, heavy pressure, but Phoenix moving the disc very well.
Yeah, so right now Ascension going with a 2-3-2 zone. However, they're not forcing towards the middle, so it's very easy to get continuation passes. Although Phoenix is ejecting some guys deep, not really able to hit any options past the second layer.
Mike Lee dishes that off calmly, and a couple give and goes, but a air bounce into the end zone, and a foul called. Not sure if he had play on the disc though, Brandon, as it had hopped over his head after he jumped. But we'll see what the observers think as the two players will chat as well.
There was definitely some contact. I think the observer ruled in favor of the foul call. From my angle, I couldn't see whether Rob Wallace was backing towards the disc or not, but he'll take a timeout.
So perhaps some clock management here from Phoenix as well, in a solid position on the front cone of their attacking end zone, and about 12 minutes right now away from the hard cap. You're going to burn 90 seconds here. Great benefit of having these observed games in favor of Ascension at this moment. They're very strict on the timeout, the time that players take on the timeouts. In many of the games that I play, and I'm sure you experience this as well, timeouts that are supposed to be 90 seconds stretch into 2 or 3 minutes. So if that were the case for Ascension right now, they would be losing so much more time than if the observers were not constantly checking their watches and enforcing the fact that these players have to get off the field, and offense has to get set, defense has to get set, and then we got to get going.
For sure. It definitely helps having Team Orange out there doing such a good job at this tournament, diffusing any situations, providing rules, explaining the rules when needed, and also giving unbiased rulings on anything that can be hotly contested.
So a big moment for Phoenix right now, as it was a foul called on the attempted catch off the huck, and that's put in, jammed in by Phoenix, and in for the score, and they stretch their lead out a little bit more, and Ascension feeling the pressure.
Samuel Tremblay La Rochelle is known as a big game player in the Ottawa community. Every time there's a finals or semifinals, he is a person the Ottawa GGs look to, as well as Ottawa Phoenix. Always has a nose for goal, never shaken in the big moments. Rob Wallace, the first-year rookie, stemming from Carleton B all the way up to the Carleton A team, now on Phoenix, making his presence felt.
So 10 minutes away now from hard cap and a 3-point deficit that Ascension has to try to climb its way back into. And just so everybody is on the same page at home, the clock you see on the Rogers TV scoreboard at the top left of your screen is unofficial. It's an unofficial clock. The observers are in control of this game, and they will dictate to the teams when it is the final point, but we'll hear it as well when the horn goes to signal the hard cap. So a hard cap, Brandon, a little bit more simple than the soft cap rules and then the hard cap that we had last weekend here for the regional championships. Great layout pressure and layout D. Gobet getting horizontal. Didn't make, I don't know if he made contact with the disc there, I don't think so, but the pressure on the back foot of the Ascension player. Reset, Rothmorn. Swung to the far side. Phoenix threatening here. Nick Gohar. And that's into the end zone for another score for Phoenix, and they are now firmly in control. James Goff on the reception.
James Goff, nice to see that he's back from the injury he took earlier, back on the field, back on the board. Phoenix taking a commanding lead here.
And a spike with authority from James Goff, and Phoenix should be feeling pretty good about their game right now, or some things to adjust as they move forward through the season.
Definitely going to have some talking points and some teaching moments from this final, but seeing how their mental strength and mental fortitude kept going through the tough time in the first half, hold it back in the second half, and now really kind of running away with it here. You can be pleased with that. However, in the big picture, if you're going up against even better opponents, which you will see in different areas of the country or North America, you want to be always at your best. And I don't think this is the best Phoenix side or the best we've seen from this Phoenix side, but you can see the glimpses of good play.
A team that holds itself to the highest standard. And that pull a little short, and Ascension in a good position, middle of the field. Into the wind, that flick is saved by that far side player. And out the far sideline. Getting closer to that end zone line. Ascension threatening here. They have to clear out some more space near that front cone, trying to jam that in. The one fake clears a lane, and the air bounce into the end zone to pull Ascension up to 6 points on the game.
That is a great fake by the thrower, getting Cale Campbell as well as Theo Chicron to bite on that first option to hit a second option behind both of them, clearing them out of the space, passing up a good look to hit a great look. That's exactly what you want. Ascension has more in the bag that they are showing here.
And although it may not be feasible for them to score 4 points at this point in time with about 6 minutes left in the game, they can try to pull the game to as close of a position as possible and really try to make Phoenix sweat a little bit and to give them some things to think about if they're not already thinking about some adjustments that need to be made to their game. But Ascension firmly still competing in this final at the 40th annual No Borders Ultimate Championships. Centered quickly. On the near side, 2 men going deep, but a pick called.
Interesting to see where that was. A lot of separation, but might have been Teo Gobet. Or set the pick.
There's generally a loose interpretation of 10 feet. So an animated discussion right now between the observer and the two players. But it is resolved, and Phoenix still in possession. Gobet into the midfield. Here's Daigle. Dishes off. Rothmorn back to Daigle. Trying to cook with those two right now. Stall count getting high and put into space and trying to bid to save the day, but Rothmorn unable to collect that disc, and it's another chance for Ascension to get another point on the board. That's a great looking put into the end zone and coming back and pawing that out of the air. Nick Gohar.
Nick Gohar having quite the game on the defensive end. Getting up big once more. He got a late read on this disc, but took a good position, went up early, caught a piece of it.
So Rothmorn, he'll start at the front of his own end zone and zips one up down the field, and it's received beautifully by Gobet. He's got two players in front of him, and Daigle open in the end zone. They don't force it though. Gobet. Phoenix trying to be as calm as possible. And Theo Gobet into the end zone, near corner for the score. And that should just about do it for Ascension. Phoenix now another 6-point separation. A 4-point separation, I should say, 10-6 the score. 3 minutes away or so from the hard cap. And we've all been in this position, Ascension's position, I should say, where you know that you may not have enough time to mount a comeback, but you want to try to play to that final horn, especially in a championship game like this. And you've traveled all the way from Sherbrooke. Leave it all out there on the field.
If you are on that Ascension side, you don't get many opportunities to play a team like Phoenix, especially where Phoenix is a home team. They have a bit more pressure. You can catch them by surprise, but you can also become a better team. You want to be going toe-to-toe, seeing how your offense stacks up against them. So you shouldn't be taking any points off, seeing if you can pull it back against a really good team.
Couple more minutes to go in this game, as that pull from Phoenix will trail out, and Ascension will take it to the brick. Straight up force at the moment from Phoenix. And
Phoenix going for his zone, like trying to force as many passes as possible, which will really stop the flow of this Sherbrooke side, making them use as much time as possible.
It's a zippy look across field, lefty flick, and connects with its intended recipient. Some space now with Ascension in control, but that put to the near side, nearly gathered up off that bid attempt. But it was just trailing away from him the entire time. It was closer than I thought it was going to be right at the end. He got his left arm out there, outstretched.
Definitely took a tougher angle, trying to catch the disc from the top. If he went under, he might have had a better chance.
Big D, big block. Less than a minute to go until the hard cap horn will sound. Ascension on the disc here along the near sideline. Did he drag his toe? Yes, he did. Roy in possession here on the near side. Lefty backhand around into the end zone. And that's gotta feel good for Ascension. 7 points now. The deficit only 3. And we'll have one more point, Brandon.
Another great shot. Lefties. It's so pretty when it works out. Sometimes I was a lefty. You just get to open the field so much more. Finally finding his receiver, and then now Ascension, as the horn goes off in the distance, as you were saying, this will be the last point. Ascension has one more chance to get a break. their defensive line looks raring to go for it.
This is it for them. The championship will go to Phoenix, but for them, this point is to absolutely leave it all out there and make Phoenix work for it. There'll be nothing easy on this point, nothing given for Phoenix. As a good crowd has rolled in here, as most of the other games have wrapped up on the day. Showcase field at UPI. And it's launched into orbit for the last time in this open final. And got moving quickly, Rothmore. Flips it laterally. Rothmore gathers it back up line and switches the field. Zippy flick on the inside. Rothmore. Some great handler movement. Was that disc up? And some chats about it right now as the number 13 on Ascension will share his perspective.
Vietton and Ian Wallace definitely reenacting what happened. Whenever it comes to reenacting, unless you go to the Observer, everyone will over-exaggerate. So who knows what it is? Observer says it was up. Ian Wallace will continue with the disc.
That's two of those very close up calls that these teams have had to go to the Observer for. Phoenix looking to finish this game off in style. Trapped along that far corner. Patience with the disc right now is needed. Stall count getting high.
Fast count called here.
But then they're also talking about some contact. It looks like on the throw, so a lot of things to talk about at that front right corner cone. And this is exactly what we were talking about. There's nothing that's going to be let slide by Ascension on this point. It's not going to be, oh, well, forget about it. The championship is yours.
No, battling right to the end here. Definitely some fighter spirit in them. Observer ruling that it was a foul. But for who?
That is the question.
Signaling Stalin won, so that means it was a defensive foul on the mark. Probably just a bit too close.
So Phoenix will reset with Rothmore into the end zone and pulled down. Game over. Phoenix with an 11-7 victory over Ascension, and they are the 2026 No Borders Open champions here at UPI. And it was a close game for a large part just up until the end of that first half, Brandon.
Yeah, the first quarter of the game definitely going in favor of Ascension, but Ottawa Phoenix defends their home turf, goes down, finds a way to get it done, and they show out for the home crowd here at UPI in Manotick, just south of Ottawa.
Now, there was a great crowd here, and the locals here in Ottawa would be surprised if Phoenix hadn't pulled off the victory, and perhaps they're surprised by just how close it was for a large portion of the game. These teams were trading points back and forth, but a couple of breaks near the end of that first half was really the tail of this one for Phoenix. Able to get a little bit of separation and then pull away. But as you mentioned a couple times, still some things to work on.
As the trophy comes out here by tournament director Jeremy Hill. Phoenix is being awarded.
With young child in tow as well.
And Nathan Grizza, the rookie, lifts the trophy, the all-star in the making. You love to see it from this Ottawa side.
As Phoenix emerges victorious here at No Borders 2026. It's a long season, and this is just the start. An 11-7 victory over Ascension. So for all of us here at Rogers TV, my name is Desmond Thomas. It was a pleasure to be joined by you today, Brandon Adibe. And for all of us here at Rogers TV staff and volunteer crew, thank you so much for watching these No Borders Ultimate Championships, the 40th edition, here at UPI.